Hi, Black Bob staff. It's Janae, and I'm going to be taking you through Mastery Connect and how to add an assessment to your trackers. So you can see right now I have up Mastery Connect on this side, and on this side is my end of Module 3 assessment that fourth grade and I created that I'm going to show you how to put into your tracker. So Nicole just finished showing you how to set up your trackers, but once you have them set up, I'm going to show you two different ways. I'm going to show you how to put in an assessment or how to put in a raw score. So I'm going to open up my tracker here, and you can see I have ELA and I have math. The one we're going to do is math, so I'm going to click in here. And sometimes it might take a little bit. Oops. Okay. Ooh, I know that was going to happen. Sorry about that. Let me go back one. So here I am in Mastery Connect, and you can see I have all of my different standards, and I can scroll across. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add just an assessment. I don't actually need to go into any of my standards to add an assessment. I can go up here and click this blue button where it says Add Assessment. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to add an assessment. You could search the community to add an assessment. You could select from an assessment that you've already created in the past that you maybe want to redo. You could clone it, or you can create. So I'm going to show you one just creating a new assessment. Okay, because you've noticed I already have it created over here. So I'm going to create a new assessment. I'm going to click that button. Okay. And I'm going to make this, I know this is over here. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see this. And we're going to kind of go step by step. So the first thing is it's definitely in my fourth grade tracker, which I love in the math part. My subject is math. The thing to really make sure is it is the Kansas Math Standards 2017. You have different options, so make sure when you're creating this that it is set for Kansas Math Standards 2017. Okay. This test, I could gear it if I was really looking at maybe it was just an exit ticket. I wouldn't want to make it multi-standard. I could just pick a standard. But because this is an end of module assessment, it's going to be a multi-standard assessment. That way I can enter in different standards. Okay. The name of this test is going to be end of module 3 assessment, and I'm going to put part 1 multiplication. Okay. The reason I'm doing this is because we've broken this down into a 2-part test because it's pretty big. It's multiplication and division. So now that I have a title down here, you could add more detail. Because I kind of already have a lot of that in the title, you can do that. Sometimes I just kind of copy and paste, so you can do that. So it kind of just tells you what it is. Now, down here it says select your assessment source. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to upload a file. Now, if I hadn't already created a test, I could go here to the Certica Navigate item bank, okay, and ask if I can even go to the bank of something that I've created. But right now I'm going to upload my file because this is something we already created through Word. So I'm going to upload my file, and you can click here and say choose file. Okay, and I'm going to go over here. This might look different for everybody, but I'm going to find my multiplication one, and I'm going to open it. Oh, I have it open, so let me close it. Sometimes it doesn't like you to do that. So I got to close it here. Now let's see if it will let me in. So sometimes if you already have it open, it will click you out, so you just have to close it. So now I have my end of module 3 assessment here. Okay. Now I could share it with the community, which shares it with everybody. I can make it private to me, private to my school, or private to my district. When I first begin these, I really just make it private to my school. That way that my 2 other colleagues can have access. So Julie and Kelsey will have access to this. So I'm going to click private to my school, and you can always edit your test and modify this. Okay. So it says question assessment. Okay, so I'm going to come down here, and this is where it's going to start changing up. So I could do multiple choice, multi-select, true, false, bubble sheet, rubric scoring, or rubric criteria. Both when I was in first grade and now that I'm in fourth grade, we do a lot of rubric grading. So ours is going to be a rubric criteria, and I'm going to add it, and it adds it down here below. Now, I want to open back up this assessment for you to see. So let me bring it up so that you can see it again. Because I want you to understand what I'm doing. So let me click Windows. I'm going to split my screen again so that you can see both. Make this big, and then I'll split my screen. So, oops, sorry. Back over here, Windows. All right, bring back up the assessment. Here we go. So I kind of have my two screens going. Thanks for being understanding with me. So you can see here's my test. This is what I uploaded here. But I'm going to come down here to our rubric because this is where it comes in very handy. So I have my first question is 1A. And if you notice, we always make sure there's a standard on it. And then it's a 4, 3, 2, 1. But if you notice, this only has 3, 2, 1, 0. So I do need to add a fourth score. It is going to be rubric criteria. You could always change this here. So maybe I decide to do it's a true, false. But right now I'm going to change it to rubric criteria. And I can also change the standard. So my standard is 4.084. So I'll scroll down, and here it is. Okay. And so now I have my first one done. The next part, I'm going to kind of make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. What you notice is here's 1. Now I'm going to add another rubric criteria. And you notice it goes to 2. But if you notice on my assessment, it said 1A, 1B. That's the only thing, so you kind of have to keep that. You have to remember that 2 is 1B, and then 1 is 1A. And I'll kind of explain that. And I can also show you a trick that in first grade we used to do to kind of to remember it. So let me split my screen again. So 1B is 4.0A. Okay, so I'm going to add each of these for you. Okay, so what's another trick is you can put on here in parentheses, you could add a 1. And what I remember is when it's in parentheses, that is for my grading purposes over here in Mastery Connect. So number 2 would be 3. Okay, so I'm going to add another 1. I'm going to make sure it's worth 4 because ours is out of 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. So number 3 is 4.084. Okay, that's mostly multiplication. I'm going to add another 1, and this is going to be 3A, but it's also number 4 on my assessment. So that's 4.nbt 5. Thanks for being patient with me as I get through these. Okay, so I'm going to add another 1, click it. It is going to be 4.nbt 5. And so 3B is number 5 on my assessment. Okay, so you can kind of see I'm working back and forth to keep myself on track, and then that will help my colleagues when they upload this. Okay, so then I'm going to go number 6. Okay, and I'm going to add that, and number 6 is 4.nbt. Oops. See, I gotta make sure I'm doing this. Let me widen this real fast. So I knew I was gonna get off a little bit. So this one is NBT 5. This is why it's great to check it and make sure you're watching it. So then number 7 is 4.NBT 5. Now remember, my coworkers and I have created this in advance so that when I go to put it in Mastery Connect, it's a lot easier. All right, and then my last question is number 8. And this is 2, but you are going to decide. So mostly everything was 4.NBT5 and 4.084. So this one, I'm going to go ahead, and my colleagues and I had already talked about it. It's going to be 4.083. So I'm going to add one more to make number 8. Ooh, finally shows up over here. Making sure, I noticed that these I kept at 3, so I want to make sure they're all at 4. Rubric criteria. This one is going to stay at 4.083. So now I've created it. Okay, this is the assessment I've used. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit wider so you can all see it. So here's my assessment. I love this about Mastery Connect. So it comes down here and it puts them in order for you. Now for 4.083, it's out of 4. So I'm going to say Mastery is 4, Near Mastery is 3. Remember, you get to decide what the scoring is here. So for 4.084, because there's 12, I would say Mastery is at least 11. Okay, and Near Mastery is 10. Out of 16, remember you guys get to decide the 16. I'm going to make it 14, and then 12 is Near Mastery. Okay, so then once I have those filled in for it, 4.NBT5, 4.084, 4.083, I'm going to just kind of check it again. So I've got my title, it's multi-standard, a description, I've added it, I made it private to my school. All of these are worth 4, are all rubric criteria. I have my standards. I don't need to add any more. And I put my Mastery and Near Mastery. So I'm going to go ahead and create the assessment. Oh no. I'm going to pause the video and I will. So Mastery Connect is having technical difficulties, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. What you can see is you can see here in gray, these are assessments that we have added as 4th grade. So as you scroll through, you can see that we did this mid-module. So if you kind of scroll over it, I love this part. It kind of hides it up here or it shows you up here. So this was our mid-module 3 assessment that we did and was multi-standard and was rubric based. And if I click on there, I can go into it. Okay, and you can see I already entered in the score. This is a new student, so I can kind of show you what it looks like when you go in to score it. So over here, here's my rubric criteria. And with my student, I can go in and I can click what they have, right? Maybe I got these, and then I can score the assessment, or I can discard the 5 that I just did. I'm going to do that because she was with another teacher. So just know that you can do this, and you can close it out. And that's the best part about doing rubric criteria. So once you've graded it, you can go in and add it. So again, to get there, you can, if you notice this ribbon up here, you can go to my tracker list. I'm in 4th grade and I'm in my mid-module 3 assessment. If I just want to go back to my tracker to see it, I can click here on this ribbon. Their site is taking a little bit, and that's why you're kind of seeing that. So this is how you put in and add an assessment. I'm sorry that you're not able to see it due to the technical difficulties, but you can see that when you put in an assessment, it comes up gray. Now, another thing that you can do, say I want to add an assessment, but I'm not the one that created it. Maybe it was Mrs. Schumann. So I can go in here, or maybe it was Miss Houston, and I can go in here, I can add an assessment. And so instead of creating one, I'm going to go search the community. So you can click in here, go search the community, and then you have all these search options. Okay, so I can go to the ones that I've created. I can go to the ones I'm using. I could also search down here. I am going to make it 4th grade, and I can do it by the teachers I'm following. I could do it by teachers in my school. So I'm going to do teachers in my school. Okay. And if you notice, 4th grade has a few that we've created on here. So I could just click on one of these and add it. So you see Miss Skiles has ones that they've created. So you could click on those and then add them. So just to add them, you could just click on it. Say I want to add this one that was created by Ms. Skiles for Module 5. I could click on it. And all I have to do is just add this quick quiz to my tracker. I'm going to add it. You can always delete them. Now it's asking you which tracker do you want it on. I'm going to say math. I'm going to go ahead and add it. Okay, and here it is for me. So if I go back, so this is 4.NF1, so I can click here, go back to this my main ribbon, okay, And I'm going to search for that standard 4.nf1. Must be because it's module 5, so it's a little bit further. So I can click all the way over here, and here it is. Trying to see, Mastery Connect is having fun difficulties. So they still must be having difficulties, but usually it should show up in this one or close to this one once you add that into your assessments. Or maybe it's just taking a little bit. But you can add them from the community. Another one that we really like to do, that we did in 1st grade and now in 4th grade, is whenever we do an exit ticket, sometimes we just enter it in as a raw score. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to go into 4.0A4 because we've been doing a lot of this. And I'm going to add an assessment. And I'm just going to do a raw score. So if I do a raw score, I'm going to say it's one of these. Exit ticket. And I'm going to say 3.12. Okay. And it was worth 20 points total. I'm going to say mastery is 18 and near mastery is 17. And that's all I have to do is just add. And then you click add. Okay, and here it's been added. So I can go in and just quickly add in those. Once I've checked the papers, then I can go quickly in and add those in. Now this doesn't go from here into your gradebook, and it doesn't go from your gradebook into here. They do have to be two separate things. But that's just a quick way to do a tracker. Now I don't want to keep this, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this assessment. If it's like, oh, I made a mistake, you can delete it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and delete it. So I showed you some different ways. I'm going to go back to my main ribbon of my 4th grade math. Okay. I've showed you how to search the community, how to select your assessment or create one. Another one on the create, you can go in there to create. You can do multi-standard, or maybe I just want to do it's one standard. I could say it's module 3 quiz. Maybe this is what I'm creating. And this time, I want to do it from the navigation bank. So I can click here, okay? And it's on my 4.0A3, okay? And I want to look at these. Now I see here, this is a DOK3, DOK2, DOK. Well, you could click on here and say, I just want to do DOK3. Just let's focus on that. And then I can kind of click on these and look to see what there is. It kind of brings it up, shows you the different ones. Okay, and you can scroll through all of these and decide. So this is a DOK4, and you can add this item. Okay, and I might keep going. I like this one, I'm going to add it. I don't like that one, I'll keep going. Keep going. Oh, so I see this is a multi-step, so I'm going to add it. Okay, then I'm going to close this. And over here, it has the 3 that I've done, and look what it's already adding those in for my assessment. Now, could I do other standards? Yes. So if I wanted to do a multi-standard, I could change this again back to multi-standard, okay, and keep creating those from the criteria navigation bank. Okay, and you decide, and then you just click create. Remember, save it to either our school or private to the district when you're creating these, and then those should go into your tracker. So I just, again, I'm going to go back into my trackers for you. Click into math. It takes a little bit. I'm going to add an assessment. Remember, I could go into a standard and do it, but I like to do it from here, adding the assessment, searching the community, selecting from my assessments that I've created already, or creating new assessments. So again, these are always available for you. Good luck.